Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Audio, video coming through clear? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. So that'll be a pretty short webinar tonight. So there are only a few sniper trades. Let's go ahead and get things going. So again, this is an Apex Sniper webinar series by ApexInvesting.com. You can get free access at ApexInvesting.com/bootcamp with free access to our tools, our trading room, and our webinars. And the theme of the year is Thriving in 2021. Let me go ahead and throw up the risk disclosures there. So trading involves risk. Know what you're doing before you do it. So today is the Apex Labor Day sell, okay? Or last day of the Apex Labor Day sell. If you have not taken advantage of it, make sure you do. So we got massive discounts going on Thrive and Mind Mastery. And I really can't believe, John discounted Thrive and Mind Mastery to $197. So, I literally can't believe how cheap John is that he did that. It amazes me that there is, 3 times as many people have Markers Plus looking for the easy entry. Twice as many people have Thrive looking for the 100-tick trade. But a small percentage has Mind Mastery, which is literally the most important thing there is. I'm probably not even going to let John, run it this cheap again. You have no reason, literally no reason at all, not to have Mind Mastery. So get it before midnight because it ends tonight, okay? And the hardest thing that you can be doing is the mental aspect. Would everybody agree with that? That psychology messes you up more than anything? You lose a trade. What do? You win a trade. Do I keep trailing? How do you handle all that? Can I get everybody to say that that's important? And how to handle the psychology and everything that goes with that? And we cover all those things that I've learned on Mind Mastery. And so I highly, highly suggest that you take advantage of it while it's this cheap. There's no reason not to get it. We also have discounts on the Elite Gold membership. So we got 4 months, 6 month, 1 year, lifetime discounts. All that is available for you. And all you have to do, let me show you real quick. I'm going to log in so everybody knows how to get access to these discounts. See, it's loading up here, taking a minute. And then, so you'll log in, and then what's going to happen is on the top right corner of the screen, you're going to see sign up for any plan or product. Click on that, and that will take you to the page that gives you the discounts. So those of you on free boot camp, you save $100 a month getting the Elite Gold membership, and you won't lose out on your free time. Okay? So again, you save $100 a month, and you won't lose your free time to submit a help desk ticket when you sign up, and we'll add your free time to it. Okay? So don't wait because you've got free time left. You can sign up now, and let's say you have 20 days left. We'll add it. We'll make it instead of 30 days till you get billed again. We'll make it 50 days till you get billed again. All right? So this was my day today. It was a good trading day. Got a lot of good simplicity trades. There's a huge one going on right now, long. It's been great. I was in the room a little bit tonight talking. So let's go ahead and do some trade review. So who's up for trade review? Y'all ready for it? Oh, and by the way, I want to remind everybody, register for next week's webinar. So I can't go into the details yet, but it's going to be a webinar that you do not want to miss, okay? Register for next week's webinar. So, one that you're definitely not going to want to miss. Let's see, I still have not used my $1 trial. If I use it, can I still get it? Yeah. So, if you have your $1 trial still, and you sign up, we'll give you the 30 days for your $1 trial and how many ever days are left in your free trial. All right, so this is something I recommend that you do every day after 11 o'clock. Go back and do a market review just like I do. This is the fastest way you can get up to speed. So a lot of y'all are just like sim trading and trying to get up to speed that way, but you'll get up, which is fine. But after 11 o'clock, go back and do what I do. Pull up your chart, scroll back to like 9:35, and then use your right arrow key to go 1 bar at a time. Okay? So 1 bar at a time. And then you can make a decision when a detector pops up at the bottom. So like we got a detector down here, one of these little things down here, and we talk about what each one of them mean in the setup videos. Do we have a setup right here with that detector? Do we have a short TX? Is there a trade there? Give everybody a chance to look at it. So there is no trade. It goes against all the rules. There's no rules that it lines up with. So what about this TX long? Do we have a trade there? And make sure you make this interactive. You're going to get the most out of it by interacting. So, and don't worry about being wrong. If you're wrong, I'll go over it more in detail. Okay? So, nope, no trade, low DR, doesn't match up with any of our trades. So, the first one is it an ETX? No, it's not, because it didn't lay a paw or mini magnet. It has to lay a paw or mini magnet within 2 ticks of another OP level. And since we didn't get a paw or mini magnet, even though we were right within, you know, a mini magnet and a ZOI, we had to have a paw or mini magnet on it. And there's a webinar. The link to the webinar for next week is in the chat to everybody. All right, so we covered that one already. Like I said, today will go pretty fast. All right, we got a short TX right there. Do we have a trade? I don't do market replay. I just go in, and the question was, how do we move the market replay with the arrow? I just go in and I drag my chart to wherever I want it to be. I just load up a normal chart. I don't use replay, and I just go 1 arrow at a time. Make sense? Okay, so, well, it wouldn't be an ETX because we had a paw on the bar before that, but it broke that paw. It cleared the paw. There is RPO, OPR, or order prince rejection, that we talk about in Thrive. Make sure you get a hold of that if you haven't got it. Again, it's 197, but that doesn't validate the trade. So it has a paw right here, but it ends on that bar, so it doesn't count. It has to actually still be existing. It has to be existing OP within 2 ticks. And you'd have been glad you followed the rule and didn't take the trade. All right, now we got a TX short here. Do we take it? I start at 936. Nope, we got coil chop. See how the bar closed down, the bar closed up, and then this bar closed down. Coil chop, no trade. So no trade on that one. Now we got a bar closing up. Same thing, right? Coil chop. So no trade. All right, we got a long right here. Do we have any reason to take the long TX trade? No setup. Okay. I'd be very careful off of settlement because it's a really choppy area. But either way, there was no ODD on that, so no trade. All right, now we got a TX short. Getting off settlement, shopping around it. That is not HD. HD would require 2 pullbacks. Like a pullback here, a pullback here, and then like this number right here has to be 125% or greater than the previous number. That's only 46%. So no trade, and it's going into double clusters. All right, now we got a TX long. Do we have a trade there? Give everybody a chance to answer. All right, so no trade. And again, settlement. And 2-bar chop. Good job. Got a double TX. Same thing. All right, now we got a TX short. Nope. Going into a flux and no rules. And against DR. Now we got a FTX long. Is DR high enough? No. So do we have a trade? Nope, no trade. Yeah, it needs to be at a level of 1. DR needs to be at 1. Now we have a double TX. Do we take that trade? Beth got it. We got 2 to 3 bar chop. So no trade. What settings do I have? They're just set up at the normal template. It's 10 tick diagnostic bars. DR is down here. It's the red and green. Has to be above 1. So change that to 1 and 1.5 if you have a different setting. All right, let's see. We're waiting here. All right, now we got a TX long. Do we have a trade? No trade. Didn't follow any of the rules. Now we got a TX short. Do we have a trade? Nope. Didn't follow any of the rules, so no trade. Go back here. Skipped. Now we got a 3rd bar swing. Do we have a trade? We do have a trade. It's a higher. We made a higher high than the last peak up right there. We made a higher high, and we got a Paul mini magnet on there with the 3rd bar swing, so it's actually a valid trade. So you always want them early in the trade. So that's definitely a valid 3rd bar swing. It's a lane 2, you could call it that, but it's coming off of a 30 tick mini magnet. So I'd say, it's a solid trade. You would not go long, you'd go short. So a 3rd bar swing it goes down. It's the only trade that's not a reversal bar. Yes, it makes it better with a paw. It actually has to have a paw or a mini magnet. So you go short, 1 or 2 ticks underneath there. And that trade goes down, and that trade is profitable. But that's definitely a third bar swing. Does anybody have questions about that? Because we got some no's in there. Or is everybody clear on it now that they understand it made a higher high, therefore it's a valid third bar swing? Looks like nobody has any questions on it. No, it doesn't have to make a new high over the highest high. It just has to make a new high from the previous pullback high. Yep, third bar swings need a paw or mini magnet on them. Yep, the purple line will always find that. The purple line will always find that it has a paw or mini magnet on it. Can it go against DR? Yes, every trade except for an FTX or a trend-based double TX can go against DR. Yep, it also finds that it has a 2-tick wick. Everybody straight? All right. All right, now we got a TX short over here. Let me move my cursor so you can see it. Do we have a valid trade? We got an ETX short. Yep, because you got a mini magnet with a paw right above it. And it's a profitable trade. DR doesn't matter on anything. The height of DR doesn't matter unless it's an FTX. The height of DR does not matter unless it's an FTX. That's the only trade that you worry about the height of DR on. And the only trades that you worry about DR on are FTXs and double TXs that are trend-based. Was the ODD valid? There's not an ODD on here, so I guess I'm going to tell you no. Because you have to have 2 pullbacks to have an ODD. So yes, this is an ETX because it's a TX with a mini magnet within 2 ticks of another OP level. A paw, mini magnet, ZOI, I block. So that is an ETX. No coil is required for an ETX. There's no ZOI, but there is a paw right above it within 2 ticks of that mini magnet. I was saying it has to be within 2 ticks of a paw or a ZOI or a mini magnet or an I block. All right. Good questions. I'm glad y'all are asking. That means you're learning. All right, we got a TX long. Is that a valid trade? So we got 2 winners so far. Nope, no trade. Didn't meet any of the rules. Now we got a TX long. What are you confused about, Brian? No, it's into a dynamic magnet, and it doesn't meet any of the rules. Brian, let me know what you're confused about. I'll be happy to answer it for you. All right, I'll keep moving while Brian types out his question. The 39% on the last trade. 39 to be an ODD, it would have had to make a higher high with 85% or less. It didn't make a higher high. It made a lower high. It'd have to make a higher high to be OD. So the filter only matters on FTXs and trend-based double TXs. The DR trend filter. And the height only matters on FTXs. But yeah, I definitely recommend going back and watching the last 2 webinars that John did. They were awesome on hidden divergence and on divergence. He goes into those in real detail to make sure that you can master those. All right. Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy those webinars if you haven't got to watch them yet. So on ETX, FTX, and double TX, the DR needs to be on 1. What about... No, that's not what I said. Okay, 1, just a TX means nothing. We don't have just a TX trade. Okay? ETXs, DR doesn't matter. Okay? On ETXs, DR does not matter. On double TXs and FTXs, DR needs to match. Okay? If the double TX is trend-based, it needs to match. And the only time it matters that DR is above 1 is if it's an FTX. Which will be a TX green down there. All right. Again, great questions. I'm glad you're asking them. 2 to 3 bar chop matters on ETX trades, but coil chop is allowed, but I usually don't like coil chop on ETXs, but it is allowed. All right, now we got another 3rd bar swing. Is that a valid 3rd bar swing? Got some yeses. We have any no's? No par mini magnet. It does have a mini magnet right there on the wick on the 3rd bar. You back it up for you. On the 3rd bar, there's a mini magnet right there. It is allowed because you made a lower low, so it is a valid 3rd bar swing. So now, if you were nervous because we have all this going on, I could see that, the 2 to 3 bar chop, as being a reason to be nervous for the trade, but it is a valid trade. A lot of times you'll have 2-3 bar chop because it's coming down and slowing down before it reverses. 1 mini magnet shouldn't make you nervous. 2 mini magnets should. So that trade goes up, and that trade is profitable. So that makes 3 profitable trades in a row. Now we got a TX short. Is it a valid trade? Low DR, yep, and it's not an FTX, so that didn't even matter. But just the fact that it's coil chop and it doesn't line up with any of the rules makes it not a valid trade. So moving forward here. All right, we got an FTX short. Is DR high enough? Because that's what it matters on. Is DR 1 or higher? No. So it's not a FTX trade. Is it any other kind of trade? It's an ETX. Because we got a mini magnet right on a ZOI. And that one reverses, and we're out of that trade. So we should have stopped at what? 3 winners, right? What's the rule? Hey, Colin, don't be worried about learning the terms. I mean, you'll learn them. Especially watch the, I mean, you need to learn them, but you'll learn them as you go through the videos. So we walk through them all step by step. So if you would have stopped at 3 and been done, would you have taken that loss? Oh yeah, no worries. Like it takes time to catch everything, but you'll get it all down, Colin. Don't worry. And don't be afraid to ask questions in the room. We're happy to help you. Yeah, now Perry makes a really good observation. What happened right before that ETX? We didn't have a TX on it, but what happened right before it? We had ODD. Do we like the trade against ODD on the first trade? No. The only reason we trade against ODD is what? What's the one reason we trade against ODD? Hidden divergence. That's the one reason you can trade against OD. You don't have to be a lot of hidden divergence. So that actually could have saved you from that trade. Good eye, Perry, on noticing that ODD right there. There's also a strong level below it, what's called a burger. That's when you have a mini magnet here and a mini magnet here with a ZOI in the middle as the meat. That's called a burger. That'll be a strong level. So you're going into that strong level. So that ODD and that burger could have been a very good reason to stay out. You also have crocodile eyes right here and right here, which is actually a very firm rule to not trading crocodile eyes. We teach that in Thrive. So you actually had 3 reasons to not take that trade. Are y'all picking some stuff up? Y'all learning a couple things? Or being reminded at least? Awesome. Okay, so let's keep going. So we're 3-0 because there were 3 reasons not to take that trade. Now, you could have taken it, but you would have been going against the crocodile eyes, the burger, and the ODD. All right, we got another FTX short. Is it a valid trade? What makes you say it's a valid trade? It's off a strong level, but that doesn't mean it's a valid trade. It's not an ETX. It didn't have a mini magnet or paw. So there's actually no setup there. Because it's not a SLZ, it's not an ODD, it's not an HD, it's not a triple, or it's not a double TX, it's not a third bar swing. So that would be what's called a revenge trade, because you took the last trade you shouldn't have and it lost. Get mind mastery. All right. So let's keep going. All right, we got a TX short. Do we have a valid trade? Yeah, it's an ETX. Again, we've already done our 3, but it's an ETX with OPR. That's usually a good trade. But should you be done? Should you be done trading? Hey, SWAT, if you sign up for your trial and your trial expired, you can go to apexinvesting.com/sniper and you can get a $1 30-day trial to extend it. apexinvesting.com/sniper. So if you kept trading past the 3, you took this trade, it coiled on you there, and then it lost. So the only thing that would have kept you out of that trade would have been have got your 3. Otherwise, you would have lost on that trade. So it was a good setup. But they don't all work, right? Do we expect them to not all work? Or do you expect every trade to work? Yeah, that was an HD also. It was a lot of things. So they're not all going to work. So you got to be ready for the trade so you can take the right ones, get those first 3, and be done. And when one doesn't work, you just keep trading. Now we got an SLZ. Is this a valid SLZ trade? Yeah, it's coming right off of a dynamic magnet. So it's off of a major level. That's what makes it a valid trade. And that trade won. Okay? Wasn't a ZOI crash. There was just one ZOI there. All right, we got a TX short. Chop. We got coil chop. Down, up, down. Or, yeah. So, no trade. And right into a double mini magnet, which is an obstruction. Good call there, Moko. So this coil chop makes it an invalid trade. You're trying to make approximately 150 a day. If you get close, call it a day. And remember, if you learn to take other trades like LREs and simplicities, you can make a lot more. It all depends on the fill that you get. Right, don't risk $15 Don't try to make 15 bucks and risk 135. You're looking at approximately 2.5 points per win. Okay, so do we have a valid trade here? It's ETX and it's HD. Yeah. So take that trade, and it is profitable. There we go. Now we got a TX long. Is it a valid trade? There you go. Y'all are getting it. Coil chop. No trade. Against DR? Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's not a DR reliant trade. It's not an FTX. It's not a double TX. Now we got a TX short. Do we have a valid trade? Nope, none of the setups match that TX. We got a TX long. Do we have a valid trade? Nope, it's against the rules. No trade. Might have been a good LRE, but now we got an FTX long. Is DR high enough for the FTX long? No. And also, what level are we at? We're at settlement. Do we have a valid trade setup, though? It's sort of hard to see. You actually have two setups. Yep, you got an ETX, and you also have an HD trade. And you have OPR. So you actually have three things telling you, and it's bouncing off a mini magnet. So you got an ETX with HD with OPR. That's that little red arrow at the bottom. I would call that a number 3 trade. Now it coiled on us. So what do we do at this point? Break even. Why do you think it coiled on us? We're at settlement. Market likes to oscillate around settlement. So you might choose not to take it. But if you did take it, you got out at break even. Or if you stayed in it, you took profit, but you shouldn't have. Now we got a TX short. Is it a valid trade? If you're saying no, look closer. I'm going to zoom it in. There you go. Okay, now is it a valid trade? If you're saying yes. A little bit high, right? It may have looked like a 6 there. Some of y'all. So it's above 85%. So that makes it not a valid ODD trade. Has to be below 85%. Yeah, and it's going right into that flux. Now we got another TX short. Is it a valid trade? Nope. Doesn't meet any of the rules. Now we got an SLZ. Is it a valid trade? Not off a level. No valid trade. And you got 3-bar chop before it as well. Good call. David. Now we got an FTX long. DR's not high enough and we're really choppy, right? So not a valid trade. Now we got a TX short. Let's see here. Let me put it back into focus so we can see if it's... So it's ODD, but what would it make you say I'm not going to take this trade? Right into two dynamic magnets. So not a valid trade. Those are obstructions. They're listed as obstructions in the training. Yeah, and a flux. So you got three things in your way. I mean, that is definitely an obstruction. And you're glad you didn't take it. Now we got another TX short. We gonna take it? Nope, still going into those levels, right? That one may have worked out, but the one before it didn't. Was it worth missing out on the loss? Was it worth missing out on this win to miss out on the previous loss? Definitely. Now we're just really choppy. And it's 11 o'clock. Okay. All right. Did y'all pick up some good tips from tonight? All right. So once again, just to follow up, reminder, we have the Labor Day sell, okay? It's literally just going for a few more hours. It expires at midnight. So we got crazy discounts on there that John decided to do. Whatever plan you have now, some, great plans, for you to look at and get a hold of. You can even, take advantage of the discounts on, the 4-month and the 6-month and the 12-month. Even if you already have gold and you want to take advantage of one of those discounts, you can sign up for it and submit us a help desk ticket, and we'll adjust it for you, okay? So even if you have the 6 months, you can take advantage of the 4-month plan. So we got big discounts. So if you want to get a discount, even if you're a current elite member, take advantage of those discounts. And just submit a help desk ticket, and we'll cancel any recurring you have on the other ones and put you on and give you any extra time on that one, okay? Remember, Mind Mastery and Thrive will probably never be literally this cheap again. I'm still surprised John did it. So get it before midnight. And a reminder, go to apexinvesting.net, log in, and at the top of the menu there, click on buy any plan or product. Sign up for any plan or product to get access to it, okay? So remember, next week, we plan on having a special announcement if everything goes as planned. So make sure you're on it. You're not going to want to miss it. Sign up now. The link is in the chat. It's also on the Sniper page under webinars. And let's see if there's anything else. All right, and then a reminder, do what I did every day, especially if you're new, but even if you're not new. Do you think this makes me a better trader to go through these reviews like this with you? Yeah, so how much better is it going to make you to go through the trades yourself? I mean, it keeps my skills sharp. So I know it takes extra time, but stop when you're done trading and then go back and review 9:35 to 11 and just go bar by bar. And if you'll take the discipline to do that, you will learn to see this stuff a lot faster and catch your trades a lot easier. If you're bummed out about your day, go back and review it. If you're excited about your day, go back and review it. Okay? But please do these market reviews like this. And it will expedite your learning curve. It'll sharpen your skills. It'll make it much, much faster for you to see the trades in live markets. And much easier than replay. And it gives you time to actually look. And that time to look is what builds that muscle memory. All right. Well, y'all have a fantastic evening, and I will see you tomorrow in the Elite Room, okay? Y'all are welcome. And again, reminder, take advantage of the promotions. And if you're watching this webinar, you can sign up for free at apexinvesting.com/bootcamp to get free access to our trading room and our tools and our training. Y'all have a good night.